Tony, you ever wanted to work at Aperture Science?
Yeah, it looks like a lovely place to work. What the
Dave
hell?
Johnson here.
I remember being made like an IKEA, like it's all made of wood. What's going on?
That's the 70s style of Aperture
Oh,
Science.
okay. It looks quite
Everything
good
looked
though,
like that in
actually.
the 70s. Ah, that's my
Yeah,
favourite
that's true.
style of Aperture Science in Portal 2, yeah.
Yeah, the old, yeah. I guess we only see it like run down in Portal 2, right? Oh, look at these tubes, pneumatic tubes.
Well, you get to see the old test chambers, you get to see it run down, and then you also get to see, like, Wheatley rebuilding it.
That's true.
Mm. So
I love these pipes though.
this was a demo.
Oh, this is the Steam Deck, isn't it? I completely forgot what this was like
Yeah,
for.
so this is a demo solely created to show you how to use the Steam Deck,
But you don't
but
have a Steam Deck, which is why I was confused.
it's also a free demo you can download through Steam that you can play with just a normal controller, which I played with an Xbox controller.
Right, right.
Because there's
Did
stuff.
this
Sorry,
would it
go
be
on.
better on would this be better on a Steam Deck, or is it like be the same? You think?
Hmm. I feel like the gameplay, not really, but it would the desk thing would make more sense if you
Yeah,
had a Steam Deck.
that's what I was thinking. That the immersion might be better.
So it starts out saying you're like one of the greatest minds in science history, and then it's like, oh wait, wrong tape. You're just the desk job guy. So interesting fake out.
It's a typical Portal fake out.
But you start out testing toilets, and that's what you do. And it has that great like Portal writing to it. It has that like humor
Yeah,
and sci-fi pessimism to it, I would say.
yeah. That's kind of what
The
Aperture's all
mantis. Oh,
about, right?
I found an
Yeah, what's with the
East.
mantis?
What the mantis doing?
Oh yeah, what was the
Um,
Easter egg?
I found an Easter egg while playing this game. So there's as you go through like levels of Aperture Science, as the camera pans away, you'll see like mantis is, and then
Yeah.
they start to like build a society as they accidentally get their intelligence increases and they build their own society like that episode of The Simpsons where they like from the Treehouse of Horror where they accidentally make like the society of
Oh yeah, I
bacterial
vaguely
fungi.
remember that. Yeah.
Um, okay. There's a section where I guess spoilers for this game if you're going to play it. There's a section where basically through testing the toilets you accidentally turn them into machine gun toilets, and then you have to fight your way to Cave Johnson's office, and there's a little UFO from the mantises, and if you shoot it, it adds a little like mantis statue onto your desk as an Easter egg.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's an Easter egg I found.
Zip zap zop, that is how you inspect a toilet. I hope you were paying attention because I'm not saying any of that twice. Look, it's not rocket science. It's not even toilet science.
Not even toilet science.
See that light on the wall? If that light goes on, you're fired.
Okay, good. You heard the important part. Wait, hold on. Have they all been smoking? It's not our job to test if the toilet's on fire, right? Just do your
Would you buy an Aperture toilet?
line, and then it's somebody
Yeah.
else's problem.
Okay. Okay.
As long as it had turrets in it. Also, the sounds of like the gunfire in this game, they're like Half-Life 2 TF2 sounds.
Let me take a look.
Oh right.
They didn't like re-record new ones. They're all just the sounds from Half-Life and TF2, like the default Valve sounds.
That is interesting. I guess
You know what they did record
reusing
though?
assets.
Original what's his name? I was gonna call him Jonah J. Jameson.
Cave Johnson.
Cave Johnson. What's the name of the actor? J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
They got J.K. Simmons to come back and record lines for this demo for the Steam Deck.
I mean, it's basically Jameson.
So, first off, I think we're
So you accidentally built a gun turret toilet, and then
The
Grady.
mantises.
Grady says someone has to take the rap, so you take the rap and go to prison. I think. No, he upgrades it first.
After 2,780. Oh no, sorry, 278,100 toilet inspections.
Oh man, the tour. Introducing the Mark.
You blow up the first one, then you make a second one.
Here we go.
You get to hear that's the minigun from TF2, the rocket launcher
Oh
from
right, I
TF2.
didn't realize that.
That's the turret from Portal 2. That's the SMG from fucking Half-Life.
Oh right. So they're reusing everything then.
Well, it's also one of the few things that's actually Source 2 as well.
I
Immediately as you
think
play,
about
you realize it's running in Source 2, which is cool to see as a tech demo. I wonder if you could port this into Sandbox and then use Sandbox to see if there's anything you could data mine with like boundary breaks.
Just feel like, do you feel? I thought there could have been more turret game. You know, I thought there could have been a fun turret destruction mini game that they could just like keep going back to.
Mantis Society.
Yeah, I'm gonna say now that it's been confirmed that this isn't a Portal canon, but in my head it is. I don't care.
Well, based on the ending, I think it would be huge implications for the Portal universe if this was canon.
I like the ending. It's great.
I like that you go to prison, but you take your entire desk into the prison cell.
Well, you wouldn't leave. You wouldn't go. You wouldn't. It's a human right to have your desk.
There's so much great writing in this on like callbacks where he says he wants to get like a tattoo of like a specific thing, and then in the future he has the tattoo and stuff like that. Where it's like
when he's in witness protection, yeah, it's like a new person.
Even if you don't have a Steam Deck, if you're just like a fan of like good writing, Valve, and cool games, I think it is worth playing this.
Well, if you want to know what happens in Portal 2.5, you're gonna have to get it for the story. So
there's a point where it like wants you to talk into your microphone, because like the Steam Deck has a microphone in it, and I was like,
what did you say?
Big Chungus, I think. I was like, oh, it's not. Hang on. Big Chungus. That's the actual recording it made in game. That's not me.
Yeah.
Because I was talking into the microphone, I was like, this isn't going to fucking work. And then it actually can use your plugged-in microphone.
Oh my god. It was a powerful moment.
You get to test out these toilets. But then, like, rival robots discover that you're going to go see Cave Johnson, so you have, like, this crazy shootout with them.
Yeah, I like this bit. This bit's cool.
So there's the UFO.
They're hiding in plain sight.
There's the UFO I was talking about that gives you the Easter egg. Because if you see the desk, it doesn't have anything on it now. As soon as you shoot that, it runs. I zoom out. Now I have the statue here. So that's one of the Easter eggs. So there was a couple of Easter eggs. That was one of the ones I found. I don't know if there's more than that. Basically, you go and talk to Cave Johnson, and you realise that he's been kept himself alive as an AI in a giant cave head, like giant stone Cave Johnson head.
He just wants to die.
He wants you to kill him because he doesn't want to keep on going living. On the one hand, he wants you to kill him, but on the other hand, you're like, well, you will be murdering someone, so you can't do it. We'll get in trouble. Look how the entire time they're like... oh, we need to do the right thing, we need to end his suffering, but then also they're like, oh, we don't want to get fired and we don't want to go back to prison.
Yeah. It's a dilemma for sure.
Can't shoot the metal. reflecting the bullets.
Hey, you see that? I think that's his power source.
I like how it's just spaghetti wiring.
Exactly what I would do.
Yeah.
Here we go. Powering down. The great beyond. Boy, I'll give you two credit. That is one hell of an invention. You did it. You figured out how to end my suffering. All right. Suffering ended in 3, 2.
Backup power activated.
No.
You're both fired. I'm gonna need your key cards. Just lay them down in front of the head. Not too close to the chin, or I won't be able to see them. Uh-oh.
I'm just saying that, guys. This is canon.
It's not canon. It's head canon.
It's head canon. It's canon to me.
You know what? It just occurred to me that the only person who knows Cave Johnson asked us to kill him is now dead. Yeah. Do you know what the punishment for murder is? They told us in parole officer school, you're not gonna like this. It's life.
He's
Your
my
whole
parole
life
officer.
in prison. We should, we should leave. Don't touch anything, and bring the desk.
There's the Mantis City.
And destroyed by Cave Johnson.
Can't believe it.
So you're going to witness protection.
Morning, Charlie. It's me, Gary. Gary, your boss. Keep inspecting those toilets. Good work, good stuff.
But you find out that Cave Johnson's been kept alive by some like Vortigon energy beam thing, and it was like playing this. I was like, holy shit! This has so much implications for the Paul universe. But then immediately they're like, this is not canon on Twitter.
It's canon to me, guys.
The fact that Cave Johnson would still be alive with like Zen energy, it's sort of insane, but
I kind of like the insanity though.
it's funny to have as like a non-serious side story.
Yeah. Also, you can't have a Paul game not end with like
Parrot
a
singing.
song. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was Aperture Desk Job. Definitely an experience worth checking out, I would say.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at
Speaking of experiences worth checking out,
Star Realms. This is a game I started playing as a physical deck building game. I think there's a video of us playing. There's a live stream of us playing Star Realms.
Just before COVID, right? Like just before.
Yeah. So this footage is me playing Arena, and one of the things that happens is you have to get DLC as like expansion packs for cards, and then you can only play against people who have those expansions. Then there's a mode called Arena that gives you rewards based on how many wins you get, and you can get one free entry to it per week. And that arena will have a bunch of expansions on it, and anyone can join no matter how many expansions they have for that free entry or any subsequent entries as long as they pay.
Okay, so kind of like trying it out.
Yeah. So here's me playing with like 10 expansions that I have no idea what any of the cards do.
Yeah,
what? I have, at the time I recorded this, I had not played with most of these cards, but I actually later went on and I've got quite a few of the DLCs, so...
Oh, okay.
The things you see on the left, those are gambits. Those are from the Gambit set. And basically they give you and your opponent 2 random abilities at the start of every game. So some of them have passives, and then they'll also have a scrap ability where you can basically destroy them at certain points in order to gain damage, gold, draw cards, stuff like that. So they're like tactical advantages that make the game more interesting.
Okay.
Because there's also another set I was playing with called events, and basically what events do is whenever you draw a card from the trade row, sometimes you're going to draw an event instead, which will play a random effect that will. I think events also they're always parallel with your opponent. So whenever an
Right.
effect happens for you, it also happens to your opponent, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's sort of more fortuitous for it to happen on your turn or their turn, sort of thing. Or if you're ahead, it's worse for you. Or if you're behind, it's better for you. There's stuff like that.
What's the blobs doing?
I feel like with this game, if you don't understand what's happening right now, you kind of need to
It's very
play it. It's
confusing.
a bit of a
What
complicated
is?
game to learn at first, but then it's actually quite simple once you learn it.
Yeah. There's like it's a deck building game. There's 4 factions, right?
Yeah, so there's Star
So like,
Empire, which is yellow. There's Blob, which is
yeah,
green. There's Machine Cult, which is red, and there's a very different Federation, which is
very
blue.
different. Yeah, and it's like you can see like there's like they have the cards have abilities and also abilities if like you also have other cards of the same faction.
So the
And
way
you
this
start off with
works,
Scouts and Vipers.
you start off with cards that give you gold and damage, and your objective of the game is to buy cards to make you strong enough to deplete your opponent's life pool. How you go about this is completely up to you, because you could either buy cards that deal lots of damage, or you can buy economy cards that let you buy bigger creatures that let you have more control of the game. Like, generally, each faction has its own playstyle, so blobs are heavy damage, rush your opponents down. Federations are like late scale control. Star Empire's like um, discarding and drawing. And
Yeah,
then Machine Cult's all about scrapping, so removing cards from your deck to make your deck way more efficient and smaller. So you always draw the cards that you want, and this ends up resulting in like every single game having its own unique way to play based on the cards that you get from the trade row and how you
and yeah,
decide to play with them.
yeah. Like you
Which
decide, oh, I'm gonna because I got this, I'm gonna go into like this sort of combination of factions.
Yeah, which I really like about deck building games, and I'd say this
Yeah,
is probably one of my favorite ones that I've played.
I think
Um,
I think the faction system like really adds to it. Like it's
Yeah,
very
because as
interesting.
well as factions below them, they have faction allegiance bonuses. So
Yeah,
if you play two of the same faction, they'll have a bonus effect. So you want to build your deck around certain factions, but sometimes you won't get offered the same faction. So you'll want to mix colors almost in sort of like a Magic's term, where the more colors you put in, the more effects and the stronger it can be, but the less consistent it is. Whereas like
yeah. Because like you're trying to get
a
like
monocolor or a
consistent
duo
combos.
color could be like a lot stronger.
Yeah, they might not do everything you want to
Yeah,
do, and like it might not
and the
work
thing
with like the
is,
current deck you've built.
the trade row is shared between you and your opponent. Sometimes you want to buy a card just to deny it from your opponent rather than
Yeah,
buying a card to make yourself stronger. If it's a strong card for your opponent, it's likely a strong card for you. So it's usually worth buying. Especially if you've got scrap in your deck, because if it sucks, you could just remove it. There's so many like minute interesting plays you could do.
yeah.
Um,
And no game is the same. It's very interesting like that.
there's other deck building games I played, like Dominion I've played.
Hmm.
But that's
That's a
more.
bit. That gets very samey a lot quicker.
Mm.
I feel like this like just keeps it fresh for like far longer, but like game after game after game.
It's just so that the way this works on Steam, if you're interested in trying it, like I'd say if you're interested in playing this game, try the Steam version because it basically the base Steam version is free and you get a couple expansions that way, and then
If
you
you
can.
like it,
There's a tutorial which teaches you how to play, and then if you
yeah.
like that, you can do what I do, where you just buy the full version. It's about £4, so it's not expensive, and
So if you want the physical version,
that will give you more campaigns to play in single player. The ability to play against AI, which I play against AI a lot because it's a lot more truer to a
it's
real
stress free.
game. So it's closer to like a real game rather than playing the scenarios like the campaigns where you have like
Oh, okay,
set
right,
cards and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
And then it also gives you the ability to play multiplayer. So I play against friends a lot because one thing that's really cool about this game is it's on Steam, but it also is on mobile, and you get one account. So you just make an account on the Steam version, the mobile version, and then you can link your Steam version to your mobile version, and you can play a game on both of them. So a lot of the time, I'll be out and about, and you can play in real time like this is, which I think most arena games are real time to make sure people take their turns. But
Yeah.
there's 48-hour correspondence mode where you can take a turn and then your opponent has 48 hours to make his move. So you can play like by correspondence, like
Like,
snail mail chess.
yeah,
It's played a
like
lot
old
like,
Civ games by email.
or like I know like Scrabble's played like this a lot these days usually.
Okay,
Um,
interesting. Didn't realize that was a Scrabble thing, but okay.
yeah, like Facebook Scrabble and stuff like that.
Oh,
Words with
right, yeah.
Friends or whatever it's called is like very popular play by correspondence. I know my dad and
Letters with benefits.
dad and a lot of his family plays like Scrabble by correspondence a lot.
Okay, interesting.
Um, but yeah, it's a great way to play because I have a couple of friends. I'm usually in a game against one of my friends. We play on the phone mostly because I just take my turn when I'm out and about, and uh, he'll be out and about or not be on his computer, and then he can take his turn, and then it's a good way to play a game like just casually in the background. Because I've been playing a lot more mobile games this year, and this is one I've been playing like massively on my mobile. I'd say I'd probably played it more on my mobile than I've played it on Steam, even.
Really? Okay. I really like this game as a physical thing, but I really like physical cards and things. So,
Mm. I mean,
but that is a lot more expensive.
I've played the physical edition as well, and that's how I got into it.
Yeah.
And I also one of the things we did was it's also someone's made a version on tabletop, and so some of the time we were like, oh, let's try this expansion. We played it on Tabletop Simulator, and then we got it in game to test it out first, which is cool. But like
Oh, okay, right.
the thing with tabletop is,
It's really easy to
and
mess around.
playing physical especially, is that it takes so much longer to. Every time you draw your deck, you have to reshuffle your discard, and on it's so much easier on
Yeah.
the mobile PC version because it just does it immediately for you. But like
Yeah,
playing it
that's true.
physically, it takes so long to take
But
turns.
I like picking up the cards and like manipulating the deck myself. I really like physical card games, so
But so
I
far,
get the shuffling.
so I've played I got the base game. I've got. I think the first one I got was Frontiers. That's a really good. I'd say Frontiers is a really good expansion to start with. Um, and then you can go into stuff like we got the Colony Wars is another like good just a base game bolster that adds new cards in. And then after that, you start to get into like different ways to play that we've been doing. So we've been playing with events. We've been playing with command decks where you choose. Command decks are really interesting because you start with more health, but you choose a predetermined deck.
Oh right.
So you'll be like I was playing recently as like a Blob Federation character, and your deck will instead of having Scouts and Vipers, you'll have Blob Federation starter cards,
Oh
and
right,
your
that's really
commander
cool.
will also put in one unique cross faction card. And there was
Okay.
also I was also trying to play a game as the factionless hero, but I could not for the life of me figure out how he worked. So I'm gonna have to do more research into the factionless commander. But yeah, if you want to get more into like the more like interesting ones, like the command one, I think is the most expensive DLC, but it completely changes the game. Like it's like £5 or something compared to like because some of the DLCs are quite cheap. Like events, it just adds the random events. That's like £1.
Yeah, that's really good. That's good price. That's good value
But
for
then
the
like you
price.
have like Colony Wars and Frontiers, which add a bunch more cards into the base deck as just like alternatives. That are really cool that will cost like £4, and then you'll have like small little boosters like events or um, heroes and stuff like that, which is like just £1. Oh, heroes is another one where it adds heroes to the trade deck that you can buy, and then you scrap them from unique abilities. They also did one recently called Tech, which I think was released literally this year. Tony, this game came out on Steam in 2016, and it
Yeah.
receives frequent DLC till like literally a month or two ago, like
Yeah,
2022.
it's
Like
crazy.
this game has regular updates and receives regular DLC drops. Like if you're worried about like who you can play against on this, if you don't have friends, um, there's an active tournament scene. There's an active casual scene. There's lots of people playing this.
Well, as we said, like, it's like a really good base because like it's so varied every time you play, and like with more cards and more mechanics, like it gets even more varied. So it makes sense to me.
Yeah. So at the
I
moment
would
you
really
can.
recommend checking this out.
Yeah. At the moment you can only play 1v1. I did talk to the developer of the game because he was live streaming on Twitch,
Oh right,
and
okay.
well, it's just that one of the devs was live streaming on Twitch, and I was like, me and my friends really like to play free for all because we like to play with more than one of us. I think the best way to play it is
Yeah,
1v1. I think free for all is flawed, but I think if you
I like
want
free.
to
I only like
play
free for all,
or
but
like because the game has like hunter mode where you can only attack someone to your left and stuff like that
yeah,
in the
I
actual
like that
physical
one.
card version. And there's also like scenarios where you all face against a boss.
I
Um,
wasn't a big fan of that one, but yeah, yeah. Good
um,
idea though.
but basically, he said there's no like immediate plans to do free for all because
It's just
of the
difficult.
fact that the game wasn't designed for that.
Right, like the UI and
Um,
like everything.
so it'd be hard to go back and add that sort of stuff. But he said their next game will feature that.
Okay.
So they're doing
Well,
another deck builder. I can't remember. I need to look up what it's called.
is there a release timeline for it, or is it just kind of it's ready when it's ready?
Hero Realms. This is their other game,
Okay.
and I think that they're currently developing the like digital version of Hero Realms because I think it's already a board like card game, and I think it's essentially similar to Star Realms but like a fantasy version.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that one will be designed. Um, their current focus right now, rather than going back and completely redesigning Star Realms to support stuff like multiplayer, like free for all multiplayer. They said they're basically going to try it in Hero Realms, see what it's like, and then there's a small chance they might add it to Star Realms, but there's no plan, sort of thing. So yeah,
Right.
there's that.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's Tangerine. So interested in those. Star Realms, highly, highly recommend. Really, really fun
Oh,
deck builder game to play
yeah.
casually,
Very
like
recommend.
correspondence, or you can play it like real time with friends, digitally or physically, both really good. I'd recommend like getting the expansions with friends as well and playing those. They're really cool. And then um, Aperture Desk Lab is a fun little experience if you're like a Portal or Valve fan like me. So yeah, there's that. Goodbye.
Bye.